Adam Roguski, prosto z parkietu. Dziś mamy wydanie specjalne. Moim gościem jest pan Boaz Haim, prezes spółki Ronson Development, która właśnie obchodzi w tym roku 20-lecie działalności. Hello Boaz, it's good to have you here.
Good to be here, thanks.
So, you are celebrating the 20th anniversary of Ronson's activity in Poland this year. It's a long period. So much happened over the years in the market, but let us focus on the current situation because the temperature of the market is rising, is getting higher and higher. And a few days ago we had the anniversary of Lehman Brothers collapse, which leads us to inevitably question, is there any risk of bubble nowadays? Because the prices of the flats are getting, as I said, higher and higher, and this pace is accelerating. We know that the market is unbalanced. There is a shortage of supply, and there is quite huge demand. The money are going from the bank accounts to the real estate market. The volume and the value of the mortgages is, I guess, all-time high. So the question is this the healthy market? Is the demand healthy, or there is some risk of the bubble?
Okay, so first of all, the word bubble has some, let's say, negative influence from what we learned in the past. So I prefer not to use the word bubble. We do see that there is an increase in the demand. Some of it are from a positive point of view, meaning that we all saw that the real estate, residential real estate market is a safe market to invest. And this is one example. And the fact that we have less and less commencement of construction. We have delays for municipality issuing building permits. Prices of the plots are increasing dramatically. This is the, let's say, the negative outcome of the situation. For your question, I don't believe we have a bubble, but I do believe that now we are in increasing market, let's call it like that, and I hope that that the increase will be moderate and not dramatically. I don't see a reason why the prices will decrease. But I hope that let's say people will not go and try to finance the purchases in dangerous ways, and I don't believe that we will have what we had in the past, where people did not have any ability to repay the mortgages and banks started to collapse.
Okay, Ronson is a middle-sized company comparing to the other developers from the Warsaw Stock Exchange. It sells around 800 flats in the last years, and in 2020 it was over 900. And the lockdown, the pandemic, didn't shatter your results, to be honest, and we know that the first half of this year was fantastic for the whole market and for the Ronson as well. You sold over 600 flats, and we all are waiting for the results of the third quarter, both in the sense of the whole market and Ronson's figures. Can you reveal something about it? Was it as good as the first half of this year, or you can see some slowdown?
Okay, first of all, yes, second quarter of 2020 was the quarter that we need to be judged, because The market was decreasing at that time, and we were at an increase of, if I'm not mistaken, around 40% year on year due to the actions that we did, marketing and sales actions. So this was, even though it was a very bad quarter for the market, which had a decrease of 20%, we performed in a good way. We set a new record in 2020 and also in the, let's say, in the first quarter of 2021. But if I'm getting back to the topic that we just talked about, our strategy is not to, get carried away with the madness that is going in the market, and we at the end, let's say even before the end of the second quarter, we started some actions to reduce the sales pace. We see that we have problems with obtaining new building permits and the issue of the plots that we are really fighting for. But so our strategy today is to have, let's say, the most efficient sales price for every unit. We are not focusing on the number of the units that we are selling. We don't really care if it's 700 a year or 900 a year or 1,000 a year. We are more focused on the margins and the most efficient sales price for the unit. Not entirely needs to be the highest one, but it needs to be the most efficient one once you are taking in consideration the whole picture. So you will not see, without disclosing too much, we intentionally did not aim for the same sales prices we had in the first quarter, even though the market might be in these numbers. But for us, we are focusing, like I said, more on the margins and on the, keeping the stock and selling it in the right pace than reaching the highest number of sales.
We of course don't know what the margin is now. We can see your financial statements, but of course it is a situation from the 2 years ago. I mean, in terms of sales, and we know also that this margin varies a lot depending on the quarter, depending on the project, and so CityLink 3. We are talking about the results for the first half of this year. The margin was over 40%, very high. But on the other hand, we have projects like Panoramica. This is the 5th stage, and margin was 6%. This average margin for all the projects was below 20%. Can you say how the current margins look like?
Yeah, okay. Sadly, we don't have another CityLink, but thankfully we don't have another Panoramica. So our margins are, let's say, we are aiming for the double digits and beginning at least with the number 2. So I expect them to be more or less in this at these levels. Don't forget that the sales price of the units are increasing in let's say in the last period, but also cost of construction. We see that we have some movements in this field, and even though we have lump sum agreements with general contractors, we are having a lot of requests for updating the prices due to extra costs that general contractors are bearing, and this is an issue that we are monitoring very close these days. So for your question, we expect margins to be at the double digits, at the area of the 20. This is our goal, and this is what we are working to achieve.
Okay, now the land bank in Warsaw, it is very big. We know this is difficult city, and you've got to big projects ongoing. It is Moje Miasto and Ursus Centralny. And Moje Miasto, I guess it is the 6th phase now in progress. And Ursus Centralny, I think it is the 2nd phase. Do you think those sources of sales will dry soon, or is there more potential in those two plots?
First of all, still we have potential over there. Miasto Moja has at least 2 more phases, and we secured ourselves with additional plots in Białęka. So we will have continuity in this area. For Ursus, we have at least 4 more stages over there, and of course we have our new Ursus transaction that we signed beginning of this year that will provide us with more or less the same scale of project in this area. So still a continuance over there as well. And even though it's very, very hard to secure good plots, first of all, we have very large land bank, approximately 4,200 units, all and all. Let's say for the last 10 months, we secured ourselves with 7 new more plots, approximately 3,000 units. So we are constantly looking for new plots, and our finance for this transaction is secured. So once we find it, we go all in and buy it. So that's it.
Okay. Now the PRS sector, it's still at the beginning in Poland, but we have many new players coming on the market, and there are a few ways of cooperation for the developers with such funds. Some developers are selling existing flats, some, but mostly they're forward transactions, and some developers are the shareholders even of the platforms. What is the Ronson's approach to the PRS market? Is it really the future of the Polish market?
I don't know if it's the future of the Polish market, because as I learned, Polish people have to have their own units. But it is, let's say, a rising star in the market. We are closely monitoring this issue, and for now we don't have something currently that we are planning. If we will have something, for sure we will announce it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now the ESG, let's say green building is getting more and more importance in the market. What is your approach in terms of recent trends in real estate development, those pro-eco trends, let's say?
Yeah, so I will answer in a more let's say a wider position. Our projects we are always implementing some kind of added value, whether if it's the boulevard in Ursus or the Wisła Passage in Miasto Moja. So we are always looking to improve and to give something additional to an apartment to our clients. Let's say we aim to create an environment, living environment. We also see that clients are looking for some some kind of extra something in the project. So whether if it's gardens, let's say attractive common spaces, etc. So in this. From this point of view, we are also trying to implement it in our project, and of course, we have all the eco trends that are more and more popular, whether if it's green roofs or greenery, common spaces, stations for charging electric cars, etc., etc. We are implementing these items in our projects. Some of it we already have, and some of it will be implemented in our future projects. And for sure, this is a way, this is the direction to go. We all know the importance of keeping the environment and let's say eco-living. When I came to Poland, you know, it is very common here, issue of segregating the trash and more eco-environment action. So the direction is very good and very important, and we are working to have it more and more common in our projects as well.
As I said at the beginning, you are celebrating the 20th anniversary of Ronson's activity in Poland. And what is your opinion, what is your view about both market and company in the next, maybe not 2 decades, but let's say 5 years?
Okay, regarding the market, I think that the market is in a very good position today, and the demand is increasing. I hope that the supply will achieve the demand, and that we will have more, let's say, available plots for development, and more. The procedure for obtaining building permit will be easier and more secure. This is from the aspect of the market. From the aspect of the company, so you know, our main goal is to continue the moderate and consistent growth of the company, like we had in previous years, and you know, to do what we do best, only better. This is the main goal. In 20 years, we completed 32 projects, over 10,000 units in 4 cities that we are active in, which is Warsaw, Wrocław, Poznan, and Szczecin. We have very good financial results, so this is something else that we are planning to preserve and to even to let's say make it better. What else regarding the goals of the company? That's it, you know, just to secure our position as, let's say, like you said, we are not the biggest one, but I see Ronson as a significant developer in the market. We are judged by our performances, not by the number of units that we are selling each year. So from this aspect, we are very happy that the market sees us as significant, even though we are not the biggest one. And that's it, you know, to be healthy and to be active. This is the main goal for the next 5 years.
Okay, so good luck. Thanks very much for the conversation. Boaz Haim, CEO of Ronson Development, was our guest. Thanks very much for your time.
Dziękuję bardzo. Thank you very much.